something universal about Graham Norton. Everyone loves him.
He's always the same Graham. He's a very likeable, charming, funny, slightly irreverent character who's great company.
He's a fantastic combination of warmth and naughtiness.
It's got 5 speeds! He's never lost for words and never lost for a punchline. Little town in Ireland where I grew up, there was only one gay bar. It's called the Altar Rail.
Graham Norton is the undisputed king of the chat show. Nobody gets bigger names or funnier stories from those names.
Boss, if we don't get back there, I'm gonna go absolutely berserk!
He's become one of the best reasons to stay in on a Friday night.
A rapper?
Yeah.
Wow. You want to be in his show because it's the best show of its kind.
By the way, this is the best time I've ever had on the talk show.
But Graham's no one-trick pony. He can do priests from hell. He can drag up with the best of them. Even his stand-up is cutting edge.
Yes, you're right. I am.
Graham is now Mr. Saturday Night.
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
And with some dodgy late-night phone calls.
A long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find.
Oh, God.
He dared to venture where no host has dealt before. Now, with a mantelpiece full of awards, Graham Norton is one of the greatest entertainers of his generation.
If you want a good laugh, don't watch a comedy programme. Watch Graham Norton.
Oh, here's another one. That is a cat plotting revenge. If this ends up on Graham Norton, I'm going to shit in your butt.
I think at this juncture it's also important for me to say to you that Graham is not a gay man. We have been married for 25 years. And it was something that he dreamt up, just to be different.
Graham Norton has become a giant of British television. But life hasn't always been quite so grand for the star of our story.
Let's start the show!
Graham Norton, not that much of a glamorous name for somebody so glamorous as yourself, is it?
Well, it's not even my own name.
Oh, well,
No. Do you know, I did choose it. It used to be called Graham Walker, but I did change my name for equity purposes because there was a Graham Walker. And I chose Norton because it was a family name. And I thought it was good to do that because if you just run riot trying to choose a name, I think you end up calling yourself sort of, you know, Graham Run River High or something, or Graham Autumnal Shade Yeehaw or something.
Graham Walker was born near Dublin in 1963. But as his father was a representative for Guinness, his family rarely stayed in the same place for very long.
We moved around a lot. We had about 13 different houses when I was a kid. So sometimes we lived in the country, so there was an isolation inherent in that, and there weren't other kids to play with. That was it. It was just me and a stick wandering around.
And given the Walkers were a Protestant family, even when they did eventually settle in Bandon, County Cork, this sense of isolation continued for the young Graham.
It was a small town, 5,000–6,000 people. The Catholic Protestant communities were apart very much at that time. The schools were more or less segregated, and being a Protestant in a small town like that, it put you outside the pale of the wider community.
As far as I know, we're Irish. As far as we know that we go back, it's Irish, 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 Irish. And yet you're made to feel like you're not Irish.
But it was a different story altogether at school, where Graham thrived.
He did distinguish himself quite a bit at school, particularly in drama and debating and in creative writing and English.
When you teach, you stand in front of thousands of people over the decades, and sometimes you ask yourself, what will they become? And in Graham Walker, now Graham Norton's case, I knew he was going places.
It was a school that was very involved in sport and quite successful in sport, and that was something that I don't think Graham felt too comfortable with. And there are a few great stories. There's one very good one that he's written in a school magazine. At each end of the field are two white sticks protruding from the ground with a crossbar between them. The purpose of this is not exactly clear. Perhaps they are the remains of a Sesame Street programme on the wonders of the letter H. At any rate, the basic aim of the team is to carry the egg beyond the white post to the opposition's end of the field while hurting as many people as possible on the way.
Graham could clearly write funny, but he was also very quick-witted, becoming a dab hand at debating. His skills clearly honed by the time of his first ever telly appearance, aged just 17.
You think it's just to get a girl?
Big deal about discos. The people here and the parents. What's the big deal? It's an old dance. People go to an old dance and they come home again.
He was in a group discussion, he was in the audience talking about discos or some such thing. And even then you could see that spirited, intelligent voice. He was contradicting someone, he was standing his ground. And again, you know, you pay attention. You pay attention to what he's got to say.
It's the big emphasis on the disco.
It's all there is in Ireland. And it's safe.
To say that that's all there is.
Do you enjoy discos?
Yeah, they're all right.
And you get on sexually okay?
Yes.
Well then.
Graham went on to study English and French at University College Cork, but getting itchy feet, dropped out after 2 years, setting out to see the world.
There would have been very little for someone like Graham to do in Ireland at that time. There was very little happening in the arts and drama scene. It was a very repressive society.
To be a young Graham Norton in Cork, gay, Protestant, this isn't a man who's going to stay in Ireland for the rest of his life.
Watching TV, which was my window on the world, America just seemed thrilling. So when I did sort of get my ticket to get out, America was my first port of call. That's where I felt much more drawn to.
And I went to San Francisco, go figure. And just stuck a pin in the map and there's where I went. And I ended up living in a hippie commune. Some people are an economic vegetarian and they can't afford to buy meat. I was an economic hippie in that I couldn't afford to pay normal rent. So I was in this commune where I rented a room, and I was so much younger than all the rest because they were proper hippies.
Because I was 20, but from Ireland, so that makes you kind of international 13, and a real conservative. So it was wonderful for me to meet these people who did open me up to kind of other ways of thinking and other ways of looking at the world. After a year, you kind of thought, yeah, this is all very fun, but it's not real life. I need to go home and
But you
start
didn't come
again.
home, you came back to London.
I wanted to go to drama school, and at that time, there was no drama school in Ireland. You couldn't. So, there wasn't really a choice. It was just, you know, if you want to go to drama school, you go to London.
After auditioning for several drama schools, Graham eventually won a place at London's prestigious Central School of Speech and Drama.
The first memories of meeting Graham in this room at Central, I can just picture him with this hair like that and the baggy jeans. We bonded very early on. He was just very funny, very likeable, and made me laugh. He's someone you're drawn to.
I wanted to be kind of be deep and serious and be taken seriously. So at drama school, it was a huge disappointment to me when I would try to kind of do something serious, you know, like some Ibsen play. Yes. And I realised people were just laughing at me.
I absolutely think that Graham went to drama school believing he was going to be an actor.
However, Graham's dreams of becoming an actor nearly came to a tragic end, following a random and unprovoked attack whilst walking home after a party.
In July 1988, he was stabbed in the wee small hours of the morning, and it was touch or go.
It was very close to his lung, and he lost so much blood. I mean, he was probably a pint away from dying, and he remembers them saying, we need to get your next of kin, the details for your next of kin. He said, oh, don't worry them, you know, typical Irish boy, don't worry them, they're in Ireland. And they said, no, we really need to find out you don't realise how ill you are.
All nurses and doctors must dread this, but you asked the dreaded question, am I going to die?
She? Well, I'm hoping she was quite a young nurse. Kind of went, no, just go with the no. And that's when I realised how serious it was.
I've always remembered this. His telling of that story, because it's structured like a comic anecdote, and it is actually quite funny.
He wrote a wonderfully witty, entertaining letter about that very event. The shopping list of injury is as follows. 2 litres of blood lost. Check your drinks cabinet to fully appreciate this fact. And then, in typical optimism, Graham says, some good things have come out of this though. All my friends are now more interesting people because they all know a victim of violent crime personally.
I remember the phones went and it was like, Graham's in hospital, this is how, everyone's like, oh my God. And, you know, obviously you all went to see him in hospital. And I think that must change the way you view your life.
It just puts everything into perspective. I was just, you know what? We're all here. I'm just happy to be here.
He said to me, extraordinary thing, I can just tell you, if it ever happens to you, it's not that bad. He thought that he suddenly reflects on the fact that he felt this great peace. And that it wouldn't have been too terrible. Obviously, it would have been because we wouldn't have had Graham Norton.
After he was stabbed and nearly died, I think he was really hungry for life, and I think it changed him massively. So his ambition was high.
Graham recovered from his injuries and graduated the following year, but the roles he landed left him decidedly underwhelmed.
Well, I did get one role. I was in Harrogate Panto, and Harrogate's a town in England where they invented the doily. I wouldn't recommend you go there.
From the very first moment I saw him, I remember thinking, oh God, he might be a bit too funny. Oh no, don't be too funny. But he was. I was cast as Puss. I had to sing Run, Rabbit, Run, and there was puppets which you had to put your hands through from behind. This job was given to Graham. And all I could hear was the most foul profanity every single night, every performance actually, only so I could hear, but having to sing Run Rabbit Run with Graham effing and jeffing behind the thing. And the more he laughed, the more I was laughing. I don't think I've ever laughed so much on stage as that pantomime.
Larking about behind the scenes of Puss in Boots had unleashed Graham's mischievous side, and back in London he continued to play the Joker.
I became aware of Graham Norton when he was working behind the bar at a pub called the Eagle in the early 1990s, and I used to work round the corner, and it was effectively our staff canteen.
He was camp, and he was good fun. He was a laugh, and he would be very entertaining for the other staff.
It was very clear that this was somebody who was going off to do something else quite soon, possibly in about 10 or 15 minutes.
I used to do this thing where, because we had to do a lot of polishing glasses, and of course very unhygienic, but I would often put the tea towel on my head and pretend to be Mother Teresa.
He would look like Mother Teresa and come out with comments that she might be making about the different customers that we had.
And there was a gallery space upstairs, and I got it into my head that I was going to write a show, put on a show upstairs.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the unborn.
I saw that with about 14 others in a room above a pub, and that was the beginning of Graham Walker, star.
I'm Mother Teresa of Calcutta, retired saint and general good time girl.
Not only had Graham penned the show, but he also had some divine inspiration when it came to the promotion.
He told me one day he'd sat there cutting up 1,200 details and writing on them, He did it all himself. So, yeah, he was driven.
Graham's stints at the Eagle proved highly popular, and comedy industry insiders were soon making a pilgrimage to see his Mother Teresa.
I saw this show on a Thursday night upstairs in a small room at the Eagle. Thought it was absolutely hysterical. Here was this clearly not Catholic, but very funny Irish fellow doing this. I mean, you have to call it a drag act, really.
2 days ago, I awoke to see a rather foreign-looking face by my bedside. Her name was Norma Smurfit.
At the end of it, I met him and he said, oh, I hear that you're programming Edinburgh. Do you think I could come this year? And I said, well, I think you'd do really, really well. But to be honest with you, it's just too late. We've passed every single deadline.
And then I got this call from Judith Dimon saying, oh, there's been a cancellation, a midnight show for 10 nights in the Cabaret Bar. Do you want to do it? Very few people came. Mostly the staff at the Pleasance came. But I got a couple of good reviews.
all those reviewers were sitting together, all the TV producers, they're all sitting together and they're all going, you've got to go and see that, you've got to go and see that person.
I have taken advantage of my rather recent retirement to embark on a major world tour, to bid a fond farewell.
It was very out there, and obviously being a lapsed Catholic myself, I found it fantastically amusing.
I think anyone who went to see those shows still remembers them to this day for how brilliant they were. And not only people who went to see it, but I remember the critical reaction was it was sort of a comedy star is born.
Graham was now a staple on the comedy fringes, but there was plenty of hard slog ahead before he'd break through to the mainstream.
For me, being single is a choice. It's my second choice.
Graham Norton has been an indispensable fixture on our screens for 2 marvellous decades. But despite a unique tribute to Mother Teresa,
Retired saint and general good time girl.
his first TV role as an actor showed few signs of the superstar he would become.
You do not go up to the guests in the bar and say, what do you want? You say, American style, good evening, and how are you today?
Good evening, and how are you today?
And how are you today? Again.
And how are you today?
If you ask him now, he'll say that he was a rubbish actor. I don't think he was a rubbish actor, but I think other things came his way. And when you get opportunities to do things, I think you take them.
Having now kicked the Mother Teresa habit, Graham launched himself onto the notoriously difficult stand-up circuit.
Lovely, lovely to be here. Yeah. Yes, you're right. I am.
Graham made his campness a virtue. I mean, there's a tradition of campness with some like Larry Grayson, but I hadn't seen it on a circuit, on quite a tough circuit. So you're in quite tough rooms, and this Irish camp bloke just ripping into people and being cheeky and sideways looks and, you know, innuendos, and it was intoxicating and unusual.
Well, let's face it, love, you don't need to be Desmond Morris to work it out, do you? No. Wake up, smell the cologne.
Even though I wasn't as good a stand-up as lots of the other people on the circuit, I had more of a hook. And that became kind of my thing, you know, and you become a gay comic. Which, you know, I couldn't argue with that title, because I was.
Now there's just gay everything, isn't there? There's gay lawyers, there's gay plumbers, gay priests. Well, all right, that one's a bit of a given. But,
well, no, it's true. In the little town in Ireland where I grew up, there was only one gay bar. It's called the Altar Rail. Nothing fancy, just red wine and bar snacks.
I used to keep saying to people, oh, well, eventually, hopefully, all these things I'm doing will kind of all coalesce into something that I can call a career. And in a way, they did. What's that?
Opportunity came knocking in 1996 when he had his scene-stealing performance in Father Ted, something that even the Father Ted audience, the purists, still hold dear.
That character he played in Father Ted was based on a real priest who a friend of mine had come across. And he was an acoustic guitar playing type bloke, and he'd organise all these young people to go camping and they'd go off in tents. And the key to it was saying lines like, God, we had a great time last night. We didn't get in till about 11 o'clock and some of us would have had like 2 pints, you know. Someone who thinks he's just outrageous, you know, but he's still a priest.
Father Noel, for an actor, it's quite a thing to be asked to do, to sort of shout and scream at high pitch throughout an entire episode. Difficult to do, and he carries it off.
Let's have a screeching competition. I'll go first.
The thing we learnt from him in Father Ted, he was a very naturally funny guy. He had funny bones.
Graham's character is just constantly full on and just really annoying, and they'd probably have to kill him just to get rid of him.
Will you please shut up? Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up!
It's just a nice comic idea, being stuck with someone you just cannot get away from.
I'm putting you on my list of enemies. There. You're in for it now, Tony. Ha! Only joking. Look what I've really written.
It was a great job. It's kind of the coolest job I've ever had. And I'm genuinely thrilled and proud to have been part of that show.
Despite an earth-shattering performance in Father Ted, his next step was perhaps not quite so divine. His first presenting job on a risque new sex quiz.
Well, Carnal Lodge was kind of ahead of its time because it was this late night, game show, really, where Graham was delving into the private lives of normal people.
Aisha, when did Richard say was the last time he performed oral sex on you? Well, she might laugh.
The whole thing was based on, getting away with as many sexual innuendos as he could possibly do and wringing them out to the best of his ability. But he managed to do it with great charm and likability, and that was the key to it, really.
Before you went to work.
Before we went to work?
Yeah,
you just nipped in there. You drink the tea, I'll have this. That's very nice.
We did have some crazy people that applied. When you look back at it now, though, it does sort of seem like Newsnight in comparison to a lot of what we have on now, said Granny.
Look at that! What is that? It looks like a bar stool.
That's where I started off from.
It was very obvious that he was very, very quick. His brain to mouth, the speed of the thought to hear, it's unsurpassed.
I'll do it. I'm out for the count there. I'm going, yes.
We lived to that moment with you there. That was very good.
We did have fun doing it, even though it was quite a punishing schedule and people were a bit nuts. But our friendship was really forged during that time, I think.
So number 2, which is here. There we are. Ooh, so short.
Carnal knowledge may have been at the back end of the ITV schedules.
What are you looking for? Gold in there?
But when executives at New Kid on the Block Channel 5 were commissioning a raft of new programmes, Graham was in the perfect position to capitalise.
It was a very exciting time. He was setting up a new channel. And I hired him to front a panel show that we were doing called Bring Me the Head of Light Entertainment. And he was a natural.
I'm Graham Norton, thank you for asking, and I'm the chairman. Though before I was offered the job, they did want to see how I'd go down in a pilot. The cheek.
The precursor to Mock the Week saw Graham lead the panel through several rounds of witty banter.
OK, Lee and Tim, I'd like you please to read the news for students.
Good morning.
Student news.
Sorry, good evening.
With the luck of the Irish evidently in play, the panel show proved an ideal stepping stone when Channel 5's very own Parky, Jack Doherty, took a 2-week break from his nightly show.
I said to Graham, look, this would be good for you. And he said, I've never done a talk show. I don't know anything about talk shows. And I said, I do, because I had spent a big part of my career working on them. And he did it. And the rest is, as they say, history.
Channel 5 were a bit worried, you see, when I agreed to do the show. They thought the content might become too gay. So it's a bit unfortunate, really, that my next guest is a great big bender.
Graham came in for a couple of weeks and just had a natural flair for it. He was like a breath of fresh air.
He's the king of curved cutlery and all that's paranormal. Ladies and gentlemen, jump out of your bodies for Uri Geller.
I got behind that desk, as the guest host, and I loved it. It really felt right. It felt like such a great fit.
Jack Doherty's probably on an island watching the telly, just biting his nails every night, because he was perfectly suited to this environment.
A woman actually wanted to sue me because she claimed she got pregnant just watching me on television. And what she actually claimed was that her IUD, the coil, bent inside her.
Don't risk it tonight. Not tonight.
It was a wonderful feeling and a terrible feeling at the same time, because I'd found my dream job, but it was somebody else's.
Graham's impact on the Jack Doherty show was huge, but no one could have predicted what happened next.
There was a terrible thing where both of them were put up for a comedy award. It was a bad, bad scenario all round.
not only were we both nominated for Best Newcomer, but for his show.
It seems crazy that Graham only did it for 2 weeks and Jack had done a year and a bit.
You just thought, oh, at the committee, when they sat around, you know, when the little judging panel sat around, even at that point, wouldn't someone have said, well, we can't give it to him because that would just be too horrible?
And the top comedy newcomer is, oh, I'm so pleased, it's an Irish homosexual, Graham Norton.
I bound up to the stage, but forget to thank anyone at Channel 5, anyone on the Jack Doherty show, or Jack himself. I couldn't, I mean, you know what I mean? It was an awkward situation, and ooh,
and
look,
you made
look,
it worse.
I made it worse. It's a gift.
Oh, my dear! How posh being outed by Kathy Burke. Now,
It must have been a great day for Jack. And the moral of that story is never take a day off.
Thank you very much.
The Comedy Awards cemented Graham's status as a major new talent and prompted his executive producer of 5 to hatch a plan to take him to the next level.
I went to Kevin Ligo, who was then head of entertainment at Channel 4, and I said to Kevin, he's going to be a star, and you know, this is exactly right for Channel 4.
And the result was Friday night fun and smutfest, So Graham Norton.
We were very interested in making a talk show that stood out. What we wanted to do was capture what Graham was within a show.
So tasteless, so revealing, so glamorous, painful, embarrassing.
It's a load of old nonsense, really. I mean, people describe it as a chat show, but it's hardly that. It's me messing around with the audience.
I made a dog come by accident.
Bring on a celebrity.
Here you are with Barbara Bach in a very shocking scene.
It went off in my hand.
Obviously, if we'd set out to make Panorama, we failed on several levels. But as fluff, sure, it's grand.
But I have to say, Elton, see that hand? It doesn't look like it was designed for playing the piano, does it?
Graham was obviously a very talented stand-up, but the minute you saw him host his own chat show, you thought, this is like a duck to water. This is a perfect melding of person and format.
His show was, you had to get in and watch it when it was on because it was just so funny.
This wasn't your run-of-the-mill talk show. So Graham Norton pioneered a refreshingly new brand of discussion.
The internet was a good way of creating comedy. The internet has a lot of sexual content in it, and so we mined that, and it gave us a way of doing a different form of comedy.
Big man tits.
Oh, big man tits. Men's tits.
There's his head. Oh, he looks nice, leaning against the wall. There he is. And there's... Look at that!
Not content with exploring shocking websites, Graham brought these wonderful and frightening internet dwellers to life in a way few, if any, would have dared.
If Graham says to an audience, I could phone that person, the comedy space between him saying that and picking up the phone and the sound of the dialing tone is just about the best comedy jeopardy there is. Audience genuinely hold their breath.
That's right. I use my body locomotion to get the thing moving here, and then I can do whatever I want. And I usually turn on some music when I'm in it.
Oh, is this the Rocket Man bit?
That's exactly right.
It was very edgy and very cool and very funny and quite wince-making at times, and he handled it brilliantly. He always seemed to be in control of the comedy and the chaos rather than it being controlling him.
If I'm singing it, will that have the same desired effect?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Sing this to me.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find.
Oh, God.
That show, his first chat show, was immediately felt like a kind of breath of fresh air. It was cheeky and irreverent and rude, and it pushed back the boundaries of what you could do in a chat show.
He lives in New York, right,
Yes.
this man Keith. And what he loves gloves.
Loves gloves.
Yeah, well...
What does he do to them? What does he put in them?
Joan Collins was on, and they got a fan on who got a bit overexcited talking to Joan.
And I took off the long elbow-length gloves very slowly. Did you see that?
Oh, no, but I'd really like to.
Well,
I remember the look on Graham's face. He was obviously thinking, either this is going to be the best bit of telly ever.
Are we distracting you, Keith?
Or my career is over. And the police will be involved.
Keith, you're sounding a little distressed. Or overexcited. I'll let you finish by yourself. All right, bye-bye.
What Graham Norton introduced to the television talk show was interaction.
Please stay standing. If you've ever done something to lower the tone of an occasion.
If you look at the old Parkinson talk shows, Parkinson never goes into the audience, they never become a character. Graham Norton, from very early on, made the audience a character.
Ooh, that's going mad there!
I remember him going around the audience with a metal detector to find out where people had piercings.
Is there? Am I going to get...
Maybe I'm a bit naive, but I'd never heard of a Prince Albert.
Can I just say, if anyone's watching at home and they're a bit sensitive, look away now.
And you thought, well, there is nobody else on British TV who would have done that.
What we did was we built a show that was not a talk show, it was a Graham Norton show. That's what it was. It was so Graham Norton.
So Graham Norton lasted a jaw-dropping 5 years. But it was Graham's next venture that would really push him to the limit.
This is one of those moments you're going to think, whose fucking idea was this?
As the noughties dawned, Graham Norton was so famous he was even getting invited to open shopping precincts.
Who's the clown in the sad jacket?
Oh, it's Graham Norton.
Never heard of him.
Well, in Soapland at least.
Shamrocks. Wait a minute, who are you calling a shamrock?
Parliament!
You stupid, tartan-loving haggis and tassies wee jockface.
Having established himself as one of the major faces on Channel 4, Graham extended the So brand in inimitable style, making a series of entertainingly alternative travelogues. Ah, see what they did there.
In England, it's so hard to buy pornographic DVDs and washing lines in the same shop. What's that then? Is that a dildo?
It's hot and massage for your shoulder.
And it could stray, Rico, couldn't it? It could.
And having spent years working anything but 9 to 5, one of his female idols rewarded him with unprecedented access and an exclusive opportunity. Hooray for Dollywood.
Somebody's been sleeping in my bed.
If there's one presenter you'd want to send to Dollywood who would get the best out of that experience, it would be Graham Norton. There's something really charming about it.
You must see this, Look at it. I like this. You say that. No. Dolly's first recollection of camp living. Well, I have a funny feeling today will be your second memory of camp living.
I think you may be right.
Yes.
He's made a big splash.
A big camp splash.
As a documentary reporter of a lighter kind, he's very good. I mean, they're very like the talk shows in that he seeks out the eccentric.
So what better way to finish the kitschiest of shows than donning a wetsuit, jumping into a rubber ring, and recording one of the least likely duets of all time?
I'm so sorry we've got to listen to this. It's a duet of Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton and, tragically, me. I'm very, very sorry.
You do something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain.
They packed me off to singing lessons with a lovely lady called Pepe, who's obviously the person you go to when you're in trouble. She does the Spice Girls and the Man in the Halifax ad.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are.
He was saying, was it released? And I was like, no, not even a charity single. Yeah. Apparently, children aren't in that much need.
Yes.
Islands in the Stream remains Graham's only foray into the world of pop, but he was about to enter even more uncharted water. Back in the TV studio, astonishing viewer demand led Channel 4 to commission The Graham Norton, a 5-night-a-week chat show.
It's the weird thing that in the States they have the Late Show, they have these chat shows that are on 5 nights a week, and we've never quite pulled that off him. V. Graham Norton was a very successful attempt to do it.
Welcome to my new show. Yes, I'm going to be with you 5 nights a week throughout the summer. A bit like Thrush. It'll take more than a pot of yogurt to get rid of me.
It was the most fantastic creative experience, and the shows were amazing.
Is this one of those moments you're going to think, whose fucking idea was this? No, I didn't see the fangs, Ursula Andress. Mind your own business.
Graham was never seeming to run out of material, never seeming to run out of energy, and certainly as a viewer, I welcomed it.
He introduced things like kind of little stunts and games in the studio and CCTV stuff. It's all very modern and all very fresh and not normal chat show fare.
Hello?
Hi. Listen, I lost my phone. Where are you now?
Well, I'm heading back to Woking in Surrey.
Where?
Woking in Surrey, I'm heading back to.
I'm American.
It's a town near London.
I'm an actor. My name is Dustin Hoffman. I've never been to fucking Wokington.
When he got the 5 days a week show, I said, Graham, you're going to be dead. You will be dead doing 5 days a week. Now he thinks back and thinks, how did I do that? But he did it with extreme discipline.
The consistently hilarious high standard of V got Graham noticed beyond UK shores, and it wasn't long before offers started to pour in from across the pond.
We had been courted extensively by broadcasters. Comedy Central made what we thought was the best bid for us.
Welcome to America.
We felt it was the right thing to do. We went there. It was an absolute eye-opener for the way that television is made there.
Owen sings to Sharon. Off you go.
All right, something like this. Sharon, I love you. Better than bacon and eggs. Sharon, I love you. When you uncross your legs.
Working in America was so alien to us. Everyone wanted to tell us how to do it. Everyone wanted a piece of it. And it sucked all the joy out of it.
We're not here to judge, Shannon. We're just here to wonder at God's variety of invention.
We did our show. We did it as we did in Britain, with a lot of the British elements.
20 seconds.
But the Americans found that hard to handle.
As many words as possible for Pecker in 20 seconds.
Dick, package, number.
I think it was hard for Graham because taking the elements of a very, very British show and trying to cater it to America is probably the mistake of that series.
I wonder how many words your granny knows for Pecker.
Ding dong, Peter, Johnson, Snake.
Unfortunately, American viewers didn't quite take to Graham's cheeky sense of humour in the same way as us Brits, and the series was cancelled after just 1 season.
Sausage.
Despite suffering the first real failure of his career, Graham was welcomed back to the UK by the surprisingly open arms of Auntie Beeb.
Moving to the BBC by Graham Norton was controversial because you thought, well, this guy, late-night chat show host that talks about the most explicit things, how's that going to work at the BBC?
Graham knew that if he came to the BBC, he would have a bigger stage to play on. There was more than one kind of entertainment, and I always knew he had the ability to be a mainstream Saturday night primetime entertainer.
His debut BBC outing was this, essentially Strictly Come Dancing without the celebrities.
Hello and welcome to the first of 3 Strictly Dance Fever live auditions. Over the last 2 months, we've been scouring the land to find the UK's best amateur dancing duos.
I knew why I'd done it. I hadn't jumped ship for the money. I jumped ship for the opportunities of doing different sorts of shows that I wouldn't have been able to do at Channel 4.
They're going to be dancing live for you, this audience, and our panel of fluffy judges. Not so fluffy.
Graham takes all these things in his stride. It's like, yeah, I've been offered this, so blah, blah, blah. Let's go and have a glass of wine. So I don't recall that being a fraught time particularly, but, you know, there was a clear change of tempo.
As projects came thick and fast, he began to cement his credentials as Mr. Saturday Night by embarking on a hugely successful stream of talent shows based on West End musicals.
And of course the question everyone's asking, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
That could have been a routine talent show. You know, there's talent shows week in, week out. Some of them are fine, some of them are terrible. It could have been mediocre, but with someone like Graham helming it, I think it immediately gives it a certain wit. You know, he brings his own natural energy to it, and he's cheeky.
Graham's role on How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria was integral to its success, I think. He kept it light, he kept it family, he kept it clean. Which was new for Graham Norton, I think.
And Connie, I mean, you made Andrew punch the air. Did you see that? Yes, punch the air. There's a diva lurking in that man, there is.
As well as trying to find the star for The Sound of Music, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria also established a delicious and unexpected double act.
Andrew Lloyd Webber's in the house.
It used to be the punchline of jokes in our show. There'd been an incident with Sarah Brightman on the chat show.
Here you are, with Andrew Lloyd Webber there. Sorry, there you are, with Andrew Lloyd Webber there. I'm just so... I suppose all of us were sort of thinking, well... And I honestly don't mean this to be really vile, but not the prettiest boy in the playground.
No, but he's got the biggest willy, so...
Marvellous.
He won't mind me saying that because...
There'll be a queue around the block. God, Andrew's willy, it'll run forever.
Did he ever mention that? No.
We did have a lunch before it all got signed off, because I think he was a bit nervous of me and wanted to see how we'd get on. So I went for a kind of a meet and greet, and it all went very well.
No one else could take the mick out of Lloyd Webber apart from Graham.
Now, Andrew, you mix in different circles than the rest of us. So what's the word in your posh street?
Well,
And I think that kept it light for the audience, because you can't take a man in a throne too seriously nowadays.
What was impressive was that he did get the best out of Lloyd Webber, who had previously been a really quite stiff performer on TV, and you could see enjoying it more and more and enjoying the double act.
It was only a matter of time.
It was a brilliant double act, and I'm sure when it started, that wasn't necessarily where everybody thought it would go, but that's the beauty of Graham. He thinks on his feet, he improvises. Whatever material has an iota of potential in it, for comedy, for entertainment, he will seize on it.
But it wasn't just the Lord who bore the brunt of Graham's razor-sharp wit.
Now, you'd think being one of our finalists would make our potential Marias very happy. Not quite.
There was one girl who dropped out really early on because I think she was training to be an opera singer. Maybe had taken herself a little seriously. And I think Graham really took the mick.
Unfortunately, Emily couldn't be with us tonight, but happily has carved out some of her Emily time to send us this slightly long message. I've decided to pull out of the competition because I had real issues with my voice. I'm classically trained, not musical theatre trained. I'm only 22, and to be suddenly attacking it with these different techniques, I began to get worried. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities I've had, and would like to say I'm sorry to Andrew Lloyd Webber. But at the same time, this is my voice, and this is me, and you can't let anyone, regardless of who they are, get in the way of it.
I remember it was harsh. You know, one of those, glad that's not me moments.
Maria sowed the seeds for several more searches for blooming theatre stars. But Graham's BBC journey was about to branch out further than just talent shows and banter with the Lord.
You listen to this.
Ha ha! Boy, am I glad to see you.
Is that you?
No, it's my brother Jim.
By the late noughties, Graham Norton had helped launch the careers of several now firmly established West End stars. But in 2009, he decided to swap shiny studio floors for the stage as he made the brave decision to try musical theatre for himself.
Why did you want to do it in the first place?
Partly to do with doing those shows with Andrew Lloyd Webber, because I was just really jealous. I was really jealous of waving goodbye to these winners, kind of going, I quite like their prize.
After a hugely successful run at the Meunier Chocolate Factory, La Cage aux Folles has upped sticks and moved to the West End. And the campus show in town has now recruited Graham Norton to take on the role of the leading lady.
I think his charisma, you can't just contain that to TV. You just can't keep it in the telly box. You've got to have it on stage as well.
The first 2 or 3 shows, I've never felt fear like it. I mean, just paralysing fear. It was... because nothing could prepare you for it in a way.
Come and allow yourself to lose your self-control.
It was a huge kind of mountain to climb. It was like being in my own kind of reality show. I could hear the voiceover in my head, kind of, 4 weeks to go. Graham still can't sing the songs. The thing I regret is some of that mountain was climbed in front of audiences. I was a bit rubbish when I started.
I saw it at the very beginning, and he was great, a little tentative, and then I saw it way into the run. And he did carry the tune, yeah.
Ankle straps, Marabou, Shalimar. It's worth sucking in my gut and girdling my rear.
Graham Norton started life as an actor, started in this profession as an actor. And when you see him in La Cage, it shows.
The character is a drag queen with this veneer of confidence, but underneath is a little scared mouse. And Graham was able to portray all that. He won everybody over, actually, just by sheer force of personality and how lovely he was.
So just if we please you, that's the way.
He was an interesting-looking woman. Think Tootsie.
Graham's transformation into Zaza had earned him standing ovations from audiences and plaudits from critics. But even more remarkably, he'd undertaken the run while still recording his chat show, which had begun in 2007 on BBC Two.
A lot of top American celebrities do huge endorsements for prestige products outside of the States. Bruce Willis has done jewellery, Janet Jackson, airlines. Now, John, what was the thing you endorsed? Oh, that's right, Cardiff.
In the early days, American actors would come on and say, hey, really, you can say this, you can drink that, we can behave like this? Cool. And they'd have quite a good time. And I think Malkovich had a good time. He laughed at all the jokes.
Cardiff. Will this weekend never end?
The next one is Cardiff.
Attracting impressively high ratings, the Graham Norton show was given the ultimate pat on the back with a transfer to BBC One, inevitably sparking rumours of a rivalry with the old guard.
And I'm delighted. Monday nights you've got Graham at 10:35, Friday night you've got me at 10:35. I'm very... because people in the press have tried to make out that there's a degree of some sort of enmity or that we're... I'm filled, you're... It's
no, because it's one of those things... I think an audience will have, got over the exhaustion of laughing at your show by the time Monday comes, and equally they'll have a whole week to recover from the hilarity of mine before yours comes along.
Together we bookend the working week. Right. There you go.
However, Graham and Jonathan wouldn't be bookends for long.
Jonathan Ross is a great chat show host, and it was very unfortunate the way things finished at the BBC. Graham's show was already a ready-made replacement, so the BBC were very, very lucky, actually, that they had that.
And so, more than a decade after making his first wicked waves on Channel 4, Graham found himself filling the most prestigious chat show slot in British broadcasting.
It is Mr. Tom Hanks. It's Bradley Cooper. Heather Graham. It's Adele. Matt Damon, everybody. Mr. Michael Douglas, everybody.
Having landed the top job, Graham once again pioneered a new approach.
One thing that you learn in doing talk shows is that one-to-one interviews are very, very hard. They can work really well, but you've got nowhere to go. And what we realised was, that why wait? Let's just put them all together.
And that is it's a very simple idea, but it's brilliant. It works so well. So you get these superstars like mucking around like kids on this sofa.
Bill Murray, stop that! Stop that!
If showing off is your game, and for the vast majority of these guests, that's what they like to do, there are many more opportunities in this format than if it's just you.
You get a good swing.
Oh, look at
that! He broke the mould of the chat show. It is as if he's got his friends round and they're having a laugh and they're having a chat.
That is a cool couch. That is a very cool couch.
You can see people on that programme actually really enjoying the interview.
He has a fantastic ability to put himself on the back burner and let people have the space.
You're standing, and you have to do 18 variations of something like this. Buzz, if we don't get back there, I'm going to go absolutely bizarre! That's what you have to do. And then you look at the people in the booth, and they're all going... And they almost press the talk back that they can talk. They go... Hey, Tom, that was great.
I think what Graham really delights in is getting people from different worlds to intertwingle on his programme.
I'm just fascinated by you. No, because unfortunately I don't know many black people. Except in show business.
Indeed, I would never have met Will.i.am at all if it hadn't been for Graham.
I was walking home late after a show one night, and I heard a rustling above me. And I looked up, and I saw a young man masturbating in the tree.
He will get stuff out of people that you never think. He will go to places that other people just wouldn't go because they're too rude or too private. The performers start bouncing off each other.
And I said, "What are you doing?"
And he said,
And he
making
said,
it rain.
So it's always dangerous, and it's always thrilling to watch.
You've heard of helping hands, haven't you? You know what?
Yes.
I helped him out. And he was charming. And I must say, also grateful.
Jesus, Miriam.
He was a soldier and he was grateful.
He was a soldier, and you've got to support the troops.
There's a kind of deliciousness, a mischief about it, and we all feel the same. If you want a good laugh, don't watch a comedy programme. Watch Graham Norton.
With his chat show in full swing, it seemed like Graham had no more worlds to conquer, but he was about to land one of the most iconic jobs in telly.
Oh, that was worse than I remembered.
Having triumphed with talent contests and mastered the art of the chat show,
It's good. It's a good one. They might just clap for 45 minutes. It's good.
Graham Norton's next big step saw him stride into an altogether different world of broadcasting.
When you listen to his radio programmes, you feel he's talking to you.
We are celebrating my wonderful husband, Nigel Ostel's 70th birthday. This is a surprise holiday, and Nigel only knew about it last Saturday. Oh, Nigel! I didn't know I was going on holiday. Now I'm going on holiday. It's a surprise. Please wish him a wonderful birthday and a lovely holiday. The weather's looking promising. Really?
He has an audience of over 4 million people. It's a huge show. Not many people can carry off that kind of responsibility. He does it absolutely in his stride.
He's made that show his own. I mean, he's got the regular contributors and items, great tunes, but people are listening in for him.
Now, how are you?
I feel like I saw you like yesterday.
That's because I'm holding a very, very deep place in your heart.
No, it's because we had dinner together last night.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's true. We're always having dinner together. I'm so over you.
I know. We're like an old married couple.
I think they talked to him about the radio show for some years before he decided that he would do it. But then once he started to do it and he realised how much easier it was than the TV show.
Maria?
I'm going to have a blow dry so my hair is less practical,
I
Graham.
wonder what you're going to say there. Okay, bye.
He makes for eminently good radio, and that's why that show continues to be a success story for him.
People can make a date with Radio 2 on a Saturday morning because they want to be in his company.
That is her last performance.
Graham's dulcet tones continue to enrich our weekends. But this isn't the only broadcasting institution his distinctive voice has been married to.
For Austria. She thinks we remember that she entered with a song called Marry Me. We don't.
For this part of our story, we need to go back to 2009 and another collaboration with a familiar face.
Andrew, hello.
Graham, welcome to my bunker.
It's a beautiful bunker.
It's lovely as bunkers go, isn't it?
Your country needs you. Set out to find an entrant for the Eurovision Song Contest with a tune composed by the Lord himself. But far from being a conventional talent show, we saw echoes of Graham's earlier wacky travel documentaries as Graham and Andy met with personalities from all over Europe.
Putin awaits. Can I ask you first, is it important to Russia to host the Eurovision Song Contest?
No.
Yes.
We couldn't believe it because we were in Moscow and Andrew was going to go, yes, I'm interviewing Putin. And I was like, please. The world is going to hell in a handcart. Like Putin's got time to talk to you about the Eurovision Song Contest. No, he didn't.
He now had his foot in the door to Europe. And when Terry, Mr. Eurovision Wogan, hung up his microphone for the actual contest, Graham was a shoo-in.
There's no one else for the job. I would imagine they made one phone call for that gig. One. Easy. And I'd say there was no delay in the answer either. He's a perfect fit for that.
Welcome to this, the 60th Eurovision Song Contest, coming to you live tonight from Vienna. You'll notice they're performing in a sort of plastic tent. That's because who knew Vienna quite wet?
It was an enormous gig to take on, to assume the role after Terry Wogan, because Terry Wogan had just made it his own. And to so many people, Terry Wogan was Eurovision.
Now, hosting this competition is a big, big deal for Austria. And I think you'll agree they've put on a very good show. But now that's all going to go wrong. We enter the awkward chat portion of our evening.
He was very nervous taking over from Terry, because it's big shoes to fill. And so he knew he had to sit back on things a little bit. And I think Terry Wogan had given him some very good advice, which was don't have a drink until song 7.
The song is called Hour of the Wolf, and it is actually quite a good song, but you may not notice because you'll be distracted by the, let's call them dancers, that are on stage with him. At points you will think they've had a bad oyster, but truly it's choreographed. Is that you're doing it and you're hearing Terry's voice in your head because that's you did it for 35, 36 years.
We grew up hearing you do that.
So it was a very odd experience. But you do forget you're on telly because you're in a little kind of phone box. Check this out. I've arrived. This is it. It's really quite snug. Probably on the night we're in here for about 4 hours. I wear these when I'm doing it, and there's a little button here I press when I want to be on air, and a button that I press when I don't want to be on air, and God forbid I confuse those buttons or I'll be sacked.
Graham is able to really criticise people quite harshly sometimes, but you have to remember he's a fan, and that's why he gets away with it.
The outfit she's chosen tonight does involve a bit of roadkill. I fear some Georgian crows were harmed in the making of this outfit. It's a woman.
Good evening, Lily.
Who also works as an Anne Hathaway impersonator. It's like a bit of corrugated shed has been blown off a roof and hit her in the neck. Do you think she thought the shot was cut at the waist? She appears to just be wearing some trousers.
He's got it absolutely right. His off-the-cuff humour is absolutely brilliant, and he can make a silence funny by placing it in absolutely the right place.
she's finished. Nothing else to add. She's... Oh, there we go. Oh, now, this is where we feign interest in the trophy.
He's the perfect presenter for it, and I really hope that he does it for as long as Sir Terry did it.
Eurovision confirmed Graham's place as a firm favourite with British audiences. But what about back in Ireland?
Plus ça change. Did I mention I studied French?
Would you welcome, please, Graham Norton?
Now in his early 50s, Graham Norton has conquered the worlds of comedy, TV and radio, and in the process has become a bit of a hero in his native Ireland.
I was a little nervous about him coming over, and he came on, and the audience reaction was lovely. He got this whoosh. And I realised when he sat down, actually, you know what's happening here? They're really proud of you. And I thought that was really sweet. And I think he responded. He gave a lovely interview, really warm.
There's a happy crowd.
Oh, thank you very much.
And his love for Ireland was almost acknowledged on both sides, both audience and guest, in a way that you could feel it.
It was really when my father died, that was like a road to Damascus moment where I saw that small community in a very different way. That thing when someone dies, the way the neighbours come around with bottles of whiskey.
The kindness
and,
of
yes,
community.
Sorry for your loss, and platters of sandwiches to feed the other people who are also bringing platters of sandwiches.
Yes, yes.
And it was a real eye-opener that all those things that I thought in that small community were there to hold you back.
Yes.
They are also in those times there to hold you up.
Graham's love affair with the Emerald Isle continues as he spends a couple of months every summer back in Cork, where, in recognition of his remarkable achievements, he's been awarded an honorary degree.
When I arrived at UCC, it was just fantastic. I'd met people with whom I shared interests, who read obscure American novels and watched films with subtitles and dressed like there'd been an explosion in a charity shop. Plus ça change. Did I mention I studied French?
Ready?
And he's even had a river walkway named after him.
In the town as well now, I think, and the district and locality in West Cork, he is very much regarded now as, our celebrity.
When you leave, you think, you need to get out. But of course you can't, because, you are where you're from. And I think the older you get, the more that dawns on you. So now, I love coming home. It's my favourite time of my year, the summers I get to spend down in West Cork.
He's taken the place to his heart. They've taken him to his heart. He has his space, he has his privacy, but he doesn't sit in the high tower looking down. He mixes it up, and I think that's very respectful.
I'm very proud of my son, and I'm very proud of Bandon.
Good answer.
Thank you very much.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Did you always think he was going to come back like this as a star?
Oh, sure, he was always a star from the moment he was born. Absolutely, absolutely.
The remarkable thing is, I suppose, that success, fame, fortune, and all of that has changed him so little.
Never one to rest on his laurels, Graham has now turned his hand to writing fiction.
He said to me that he woke up on his 53rd birthday so pleased that he had written a novel, and if he had put it away in a drawer, never to be seen by the world, he was pleased that he had done it.
But in a career where he's tried his hand at pretty much every area of entertainment, Graham Norton continues to be the ultimate chat show host and ensures we'll all keep watching until the far from bitter end with the most famous chair since Mastermind.
Right, that is nearly all we've got time for, but before we go, let's have some stories.
This is my favourite
Oh,
thing
is this your nice?
ever.
Do you want to operate it?
Yes.
The red chair actually came from an item we did with Ronnie Corbett a few seasons ago, and it was that idea that you would tell a joke, and if you didn't like it, you were tipped out.
So this is a situation where we're allowed to. If one of us pulls this lever, she flips.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you just did.
It's perfect Graham vehicle because he can be quite rude to people.
What's your name?
To Larry.
You just here for the day?
No, just come down for the show.
Oh, right, the day.
Hello, Mr. Graham Norton.
Hello.
And guests.
Yes.
I love the red chair, and I love the unpredictability of it.
Celebrities enjoy it because they have the power.
Being there with the
I think it could only happen on a Graham Norton show.
What's your name?
My name's Marion.
Marion, and what do you do, Marion?
I'm an emergency planner.
Ooh. Oh, all right, I'll ask. What do you do?
We make plans for emergencies.
Sure.
He rounds off the programme beautifully, and who's chairing the thing all the way through with good gags, making it look like, of course, he's just having a slice of toast on a Saturday morning. It's Graham Norton.
By the way, this is the best time I've ever had on the talk show.
That's true.
He's incredibly modest about his achievement.
I think it's the champagne, not the host.
He said to me, I wasn't a particularly good actor, and now I've found something that I can do, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm being well rewarded for it, and I'm happy.
I don't want to force you, and you can tell me to go away, but I've got some, like, mics. If you could, do you want to do a little bit of rapping? And maybe
You know how some people are just, they want to be famous and they want to be recognised and so on? He's not one of those people, really. And he did say to me once that when he was young, he always thought that people were looking at him. And now they are. Which is odd and weird. He's a weirdo.
Last time I was here, I did my Fresh Prince rap. 8 million YouTube hits was on that. I can see your face, you like, what has he left? Well, this time I brought my DJ, Jazzy Jeff.
You know, I never thought it would last this long, that I'd still be doing it. Because if someone had told me back then, for any job, that I'd be doing any job for, 18, 20 years, I thought, that's crazy.
Okay, hold on, Graham. Graham, you gotta come help us with this one. Come help us with that.
One thing we do know for certain is he's not going to go away, and that's a good thing.
You were joining in then, weren't you? Well, don't stop there. Festive tunes are on the way in the brand new lip sync Battle Christmas special. That's next on Channel 5.